Welcome back to Generation X Nation. I'm going to do a quick recap of Married to Medicine, the latest episode that aired Sunday. Wasn't that interesting? Wasn't a lot going on to me. It was the couple's trip. They do that every season on the show. They're down in Key West, Florida, I believe. They had a little competition earlier that day where they were out doing the canoeing and all of that, and they had four different teams, and um, they did various tasks while they were out there on the beach. Then later on, they went to change for a pool party, which I thought was actually a pool party, but it ended up being one of those Q&As for the couples. Contessa and her husband seemed a little taken aback because they walked out and they was like, "Oh, okay, this don't seem like a pool party to me." But they knew it was going to be one of those nights, and it seemed to be going pretty good until Quad got a little turned up. I don't know what was going on with her, but I don't know if she was showing out because she got her new man, trying to impress the crowd, or showing out for Gregory or whatever, Dr. Greg. But she was on one that particular evening. So it kind of starts out with them asking various questions about the couples, how they do parenting, and how many times a day they have SCX or whatever. And that's when it got interesting because Quad was like, I think, how many times a week? And most of the couples, considering that most of them are busy working and kind of older, one or two times a week, they kind of put in there. Somebody said zero, joking around. Quad puts up 15. Now, everybody started looking at her strange. You could see everybody's eyes turning to her. And even I'm looking at 15. Whew, that's a lot of work. Uh, and that amounted maybe, 7 days a week, at least twice a day. Quad was like, well, it's more than that. Depending on the day it is, you know how she is. So, Dr. Greg kind of had a little look on his face. The rest of the crowd was looking a little odd. And I guess they figured Quad wasn't quite telling the truth or being truthful about it, but they was letting certain things slide because Quad had answered a few questions that didn't seem like she was giving the whole truth, and they were over there whispering to each other on how to respond to the questions. But either way, she started getting into it with I think it was Toya. Toya kicked it off. Toya kicked it off because after they went through the series of questions, Toya said, I feel uncomfortable with Dr. Greg sitting back there. See, Toya started the mess. She was the one that lit the fire. But everybody kind of forgot that part and got into the part with Quad, Sweet Tea, Doc, and Dr. G started having their differences. King was just sitting there looking, and Quad was whispering certain things to King. I think King didn't even realize who Dr. Greg was. It seemed like she kind of told him that's her ex or something. But I just felt like Toya started the mess, and I don't know if she was doing it on purpose or if she generally cared, but she said something like, Dr. G is right behind you, and I feel some kind of way you're saying that kind of stuff. Now, I think Toya was in her mind saying, Quad, are you trying to make Dr. G jealous by saying you and your husband do certain things so many times a day? Y'all trying to start a family. He's a great father to his daughter. I haven't met her. And I think that's what Toya was trying to get at, because we all know, if you watched it from season one, when Dr. G was trying to get Quad to have a baby, and Quad said she had her babies, and those were the little dogs. I don't know where they at now. They might have passed away. I don't know. But she had the little dogs, and remember she made the little dog clothing line or something she was doing, and that was her children, and she was not giving up on, or willing to give Dr. Greg a child, and that was something he always wanted. But then she says in this episode that she's ready to push out a baby for King. I don't know if it's the Rolls Royce he bought her or the bills. I don't know what's going on there, but she's ready to have one for him. So I know Dr. Greg probably feels a certain way, like, hey, I was married to you for I don't know how many years. I forget how many years they were married. You wouldn't push out a baby for me. And you over here bragging about how many times y'all doing things and you pushing out the babies. And allegedly, her and Dr. Greg weren't very active in the bedroom. They had went a long period of time without being active. I think almost up to a year. So yeah, I think Greg probably was sitting back there, probably was steaming because they had that little I don't know how they did it, but they did have a picture of the fire that was, they were burning on one of those little tiki torches things. Somehow they aligned straight, to the back of his head and looked like it was smoking. But that's another story. But so her and Sweet Tea started going back, and it was kind of niceties. Quad was like, I think she's great for Dr. Greg. I don't have a problem with Sweet Tea. And Sweet Tea was just back there, yeah, mm-hmm, yeah, uh-huh. Now, everybody been watching this show the last season and this new season. Sweet Tea is the type of person, it don't take but 2 seconds to set her off. And I said, what, Sweet Tea is going to snap in a minute because she's one of these the different type of era people. These younger kids, they pop off in a heartbeat. They don't have patience. They don't know how to just pause and chill for a minute or keep your mouth quiet. You don't have to respond to everything. I mean, the older generation, we kind of grew up. We don't have to reply to everything. We don't have to respond to everything. And we walk with kindness. I know people can get on your nerves and you can get on their skin, but getting all upset about it is going to do what? So that's where sometimes the older generation is at, but that don't mean they don't get nasty. That don't mean they don't get down with you sometime. It is some people out there who do act like that. But in that particular scene, most of the people there are a little seasoned. They're not into the back and forth and arguing and stuff outside of Heavenly and Toya, to me, who are the two ones that like to keep the pot stirred. The rest of them try to remain calm. But then again, you do have some that like, I guess for the interest of the show, they do like to keep a little drama, a little arguing here and there. The professionalism do go out the door sometime. I've seen Contessa go in. She went in last episode. But yeah, so Quad just kept talking back and forth, and then I think she hit a soft spot with Sweet Tea when she said, I let him go. He didn't divorce me. I let him go so he could find somebody else. Like she did him a favor. And then, Heavenly chimed in and said, basically said it was true. Like, yeah, she did. Like, basically, Greg didn't want the divorce. And immediately, Heavenly's husband, Daddy, as she called him, Daddy, he turned over and was like, be quiet. Now, I want you to notice Heavenly shut down right then and there. And for everybody who watched that show, we know Heavenly is the most boldest, loudest mouth, abrasive woman on the show who don't listen to nobody. But she listened to Dr. Damon when he tells her to be quiet. So I say that to say this. When Sweet Tea's husband, Dr. Greg, said, be quiet, don't say anything else, don't say anything else, she just kept going back and forth with Quad. And I found that to be telling because Heavenly, as aggressive as she is, as loud as she is, as bossy as she is, as rude as she is, when Dr. Damon speaks, she listens. She listens. She shut down immediately. When Quad, I'm not Quad, when Dr. Greg told Sweet Tea to be quiet, and you could tell the difference. Sweet Tea kept going, kept going. He got loud, kept telling her to be quiet. Everybody looking. He shouldn't have to scream at her. He should have said it as calmly as Dr. Damon, and she should have pulled back. Because Greg knows Quad. He knows where she's going. He knows how it's going to turn out. He knows how she's going to act. And he's trying to teach her how to deal with these people. And she just didn't want to hear. And I think the most hurtful thing was the baby comment, and then Quad saying, they're working on a child. As soon as they have one, I'll do the baby shower. I like Sweet Tea. Why would she want you to do her baby shower, Quad? She shouldn't even be involved with you. She shouldn't. Y'all shouldn't even be running in the same circles, to be honest. And I get it. Those are Greg's friends, and they try to still be there. And I get it. They're your friends too. But I probably wouldn't even want to be on the same vacations as you. I mean, there's one thing to just go to the fundraiser that Dr. Jackie had. There's a lot of people there. That's different. Everybody's there. But to go on these intimate couple retreats and stuff, I would probably pass if you're there. And not being funny, it's not like I can't get along, but because of your behavior and the way I know you've been acting and the way you're known to act, I wouldn't go. Either Sweet Tea or Quad, but one or the other should not be in the same vicinity with with their spouse or quad significant other. Like Dr. Greg and Sweet Tea should not be in the same setting as Quad and King if it's a small intimate setting. Now, as I said before, if you're going to a big thing like a wedding or you're going to a charity event, that's different. But when they're having these small little intimate couple settings and little small things at their houses and stuff, I don't know why they invite both. And I get it, you have to film with each other, but you know it's going to happen. You know one of them is going to say something to tick the other one off. They don't get along. So it's just odd. I'm not saying pick one side or another, but it's going to have to come down to that eventually. I don't agree with icing people out and not wanting to film with them because you're messing with their paycheck. I get that. But it just doesn't work. And they always going to have an argument. When they went back to the room, once again, Sweet Tea, and this tells you the age difference. This tells you the age because no matter how heated the other couples get, at some point they will listen to their spouses. And that's why the men on Married to Medicine are so adored and liked because we see them talking to these doctors, these dentists, or whatever their positions are, therapists, psychiatrists, whatever they are. They can talk to these women, even if these women have the more, I guess, high powered job or whatever, and they can calm them down or bring them to a level where they can stay, on the same level, not get out of character or not be disrespectful. And Sweet Tea, you're around a group of people who are a little more seasoned than you, and they not with the turn up. So you gotta kind of blend in just a little bit. Still have your girls to go out and kick it and party with. I ain't saying don't act your age. But when you in that group setting, you got to turn it down just a notch because they don't operate like that unless they want to be the messy ones. Now, they ain't saying they beyond that because they get out there and do some stuff too. So this kind of play along with their game. And Quad, I don't know how much she had to drink. They said she was drinking a lot. She probably was because she seemed a little bit outside of herself. But in this particular incident, based on what I read off the TV screen, based on body language, and based on what they played in that episode, I blame Quad for gaslighting. And I blame Sweet Tea for contributing to the gaslighting. And I blame Toya for starting the fire. See, Toya started the fire. She struck the match over there when she said what she said about, I just feel uncomfortable with Greg sitting back there. She lit the match. And then Quad threw gasoline on it. And then Sweet Tea finished it off. But when she got back to the bedroom, I mean, not the bedroom, the hotel room with her husband, and Greg said, I need to take a walk, she should have just said, okay, just text me, when you calm down, or I'll call you later, or maybe go find Dr. Damon or somebody just to walk with. I don't want you out there by you. She should have said something like that and just let him go instead of nagging and then going outside and talking to the girls and staring it back up. She should just let him go because they're divided. Half of them going to, side with Quad. The other half going to side with Sweet Tea. But nobody is blaming Toya. And that's where the blame should be pointed at because Toya was the one who made the comment and then everything started falling. And again, we know producers and people on the ground be trying to make them say stuff, talk about stuff, bring stuff up. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe she was told to light that fire. But the way Dr. Greg was sitting back there looking, and the way Sweet Tea was looking, sitting next to him as Quad and King was answering questions, whatever, they was already a little irritated with them being there because they were pushed back from everybody. They weren't even in the same kind of group. They was back, away from them. So you already knew they went in there with a little bit of, just a little bit of, not in the best of mood. And then for them to just add on to that and just bring it up a notch, they know Greg. They've been around him long enough to know that was irritating him. I don't even know Greg personally, but every time they fling the camera over there, I can tell Greg's getting irritated. He's getting irritated. He's going to say something. I just knew it was going to happen. And as much as Sweet Tea tried to hold it in, I said she going to say something too. Well, I knew one of them two was going to go off. And I'm glad Greg did what he did and got up and left and went to cool off because we done seen Greg in other episodes when he was with Quad and, we done seen Greg, Quad, get over here. We didn't see Greg get a little upset when he hopped in that little Cooper car and flew down the street after him and Quad had an argument. So it's not in Greg not to get upset. He's done it before. I just felt bad for him and Sweet Tea at that time because it seemed like they were pushing the issue. And I don't know how they're going to fix it with both of them, those couples on there. I don't think Quad and Sweet Tea will ever be friends. And they're going to have to figure out how to get them to the film together. Or, in all actuality, one of them probably going to have to go. If not, this is going to be an everyday occurrence when they're in the same room together. I don't see a resolution no time soon. And with that being said, just a quick housekeeping notes. I ask people to leave comments. I ask people to like and subscribe all the time. One thing about me, you can leave a negative comment. As long as it's not too disrespectful, I'll reply back. I live in a state of joy every day. I don't know these people. As I always say, I don't have a dog in this fight. This is my commentary based on my opinion. It is all alleged. And is in my opinion, is for entertainment purposes only. And you don't have to agree with my opinion, just like I don't have to agree with your opinion. But sometimes I think you guys be taking a lot of this stuff personally. I don't know these people. They ain't paid a bill in my house ever. Okay, if anything, I've bought things from them and spent money on them. Okay, I don't hate anybody and I will support anybody. I call it like I see it. And that's why my channel is called Generation X. We grew up in an environment where we call it the way we see it. We may have been hard parenting. We don't do soft parenting. We don't sugarcoat stuff. We tell you how it is and we move on. And I know I had to, and I'm sure a lot of people in my generation, as we got older and was raising our children, we had to tone it down some because we come from a generation that was a little tougher than us. So we do have tough skin. But we're very direct, we're very straightforward, and we don't mean to hurt nobody, and we do everything out of love. Okay? We have a lot of love in our heart. So I won't block people, I won't disrespect people, but if it does get to a point where I feel like I don't want to deal with it, I am a type of person that I'll just shut it down. I don't have a problem saying no, and I don't have a problem moving on and blocking people out of my life or whatever. I appreciate each and every person who has subscribed to my channel. I will be doing love. What is the one on Ready to Love? When that starts, that will be my next series that I'll be reviewing. Ready to Love, that and Family or Fiance. I would do a little bit on Potomac, but again, I didn't see much on Potomac. I mean, they had the stretcher stuff thing with the dogs and the ladies modeling. The biggest thing that happened was the incident with the poop, at the end where the dogs pooped on the stage after they let the smoke go. And then, of course, Karen and, whatever she was saying about all the girls came out. Outside of that, it wasn't that very eventful episode. However, it looks like the reunion going to be pretty good. So I'll see what happens on the reunion next week. I'll probably do some hot topics pretty soon. And again, thank you. I will try to respond to people as much as possible. I do like engaging. Maybe one day I'll go live if I get enough subscribers. But everybody who has liked my videos, comment on my videos, even if it wasn't a good comment, I still appreciate it. If you're listening to this video right now, just hit the like button. That really helps me out. And with that being said, thank you. Subscribe, share, like. And with that, you guys go and have a great rest of your day. Peace out.